All right, so we have designing parabolas. All right, and do you want to use the information from the bell work?
No.
You want to use that one? You want to do a different one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so the information we're going to be given are x-intercepts. They're going to be at 4, 0 and 10, 0. And this is going to be a more general one. I'm not going to tell you what if this is a maximum or if it's a y-intercept, but we do know this information. It goes through 7, 9, because all you have to know is that it goes through a certain point, okay? So where do I start?
We do the f(x) equals,
Mm-hmm.
and then substitute x minus 4, and then another one would be x minus 10.
Good, x minus 4 and x minus 10. Because if I plug 4 in, I get 0. If I plug 10 in, I get 0. Because the y value has to end up being 0 for it to cross the x-axis at that point. Okay? So right here, what we used was info from the x-intercepts. All right, what's the next thing we do?
Again, 0 for x.
We plug in 0 for x if we're looking for our y-intercept. Now we're getting more into the specific nature of what this parabola is going to look like. We have to make sure that it's going to go through 7, 9.
K is 7.
Okay, so we do put k in front, and I plug 7 in for x here. Okay, so I have 7 minus 4 and 7 minus 10. And what's this going to end up equaling? It's going to end up equaling 9. So let's go through this. We're plugging 7 into the function for x. So that's why the 7's replace the x's. And the end result has to end up giving me 9. Okay. So right here, plug given information into the function. So we can solve for k. So what now? We solve it, that's right. So 7 minus 4 will give me 3. And 7 minus 10 will give me negative 3. And 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. Remember, this is times. So I'm going to have to divide. And my k value ends up giving me negative 1. So what now? What do I do now? Plug -1 in for k. That's right. So I have -1 equals -1, and I plug it in, and the x's come back because this is supposed to be a general. Okay, so I have x minus 4 and x minus 10 because I found our k value. Do you mind shutting that? Thank you. What now? Distribute, yes. So when I do these, I have x times x, which will give me x squared, x times -10, -10x, -4 times x, which will give me -4x, and -4 times -10 would be positive 40. I can combine what? The x's. So I have x squared minus 14x plus 40. Now I can finally distribute that negative. Negative times a positive would give me a negative x squared. Negative times a negative would give me a positive 14x. And a negative times a positive would give me a negative 40. And that is my end answer. Okay, so what did we do here in step 3? We distributed after we plugged our k value in. Plug k into the original function here from step 1, into general function from step 1. And simplify. Okay, that's a general term for find this end answer right here. Distribute out. Because we distributed, we combined like terms, and we distributed again. Simplifying is a way of saying do all that. And that's your toolkit entry for designing parabolas.